Hey there, welcome to my channel and welcome to my vegan trophy guide for the forest. To get the vegan trophy, you need to beat the game without killing or eating any animals. That includes cannibals. I recommend playing on peaceful mode or creative if you've already beaten the game and have it unlocked. But as soon as you start the game, as soon as you crash land, make sure you get all the food, all the drinks on the plane. You gotta make sure that you're nice and full up in your thirst and your hunger meter, because this is basically a speed run, because as I said, you have to beat the game. Normally, you can do this on a normal playthrough if you want, but it's going to be really limiting not being able to kill any animals or eat any animals in terms of making a lot of the equipment you kind of need to play normally. So like I said, I recommend doing this on like a speed run type playthrough. Just load up the game, follow this guide, and you'll get it done pretty quick. But go ahead and fill up on all that. Look around for all the suitcases. Get some good stuff there. You'll need it later for crafting. I can see there's a little squirrel that I almost hit. Be so careful, so careful when you're swinging around. But pick a direction, walk there. You want to look for some landmarks. Remember, in the middle of the map is the sinkhole. To the north are the mountains. To the west is the coastline where you have the shipping containers here, and to the south is the anchor and the giant tree on the hill and the yacht. So those are some good landmarks to keep an eye out for. As you can see here, I spawned closest to the red shipping containers on the left of the map, on the west, with the mountains to the north. So what you want to do is follow this coastline right past the red containers, and you will find this little cave with the key card. This the key card lets you open up the facility. Technically speaking, all you really need is the key card and the rebreather, but when I was recording this, I tried to do it without the climbing axe. There is a jump I will show you later on that you can do without the climbing axe, but I kept failing it for some reason. I've done it before, but I kept failing it on this speedrun attempt, so this speedrun ended up being like 2 hours instead of probably one, because I just kept failing and I had to reload and get the climbing axe. So anyway, as you come down through the cave here, you just want to keep going straight, ignore the urge to explore, just keep going straight, and you will eventually come down to a rope that will lead you to a pile of bodies, and you'll get the key card here. It's just a long path. Make sure that you keep your lighter equipped to light the way. If you're playing on peaceful, there's nothing really to worry about. It can just be kind of scary. I've got scared by bats a few times, but otherwise, just remember, there's no enemies. There's nothing to worry about. So just keep going down here, and you'll eventually get to the key card, as I said. And actually, wow, it's a lot longer than I remembered. It's after this fence. You destroy the vents and then climb down to the key card. Yeah, it's longer than I remembered. But either way, eventually you'll get to it right here. There you go. Okay, there's the key card. So climb down there and grab that. I'm just ad-libbing, honestly. There's just an ad-lib. But there we go. Hey, YouTube, please ignore all of this. I mean, I don't really have to worry about demonetization when the channel is not monetized in the first place. But finally, the key card. There you go. So now escape the cave, just go back through the way we came, and now when you leave, as I mentioned, to the north are the mountains. So in retrospect, I should have just went right until I found the climbing axe cave, but my thought process was to backtrack to the south along the west coast to look for the anchor to get the rebreather first. Technically, I was closest to the climbing axe, but I'll show you later how the climbing axe goes straight down to the sinkhole. But this one's a little tricky to find. It's really just a cave in the middle of the forest. There's not really any landmarks specifically around the cave. It's just close to the anchor. So put your back to the anchor, walk into the woods, and hopefully you find it. As you can see, it's just a pile of rock. You kind of got to keep an eye out for it and stumble around. But make your way down here, down into this cave. This is a good chance to get a lot of money. You'll need this money later on in the facility to get some candy bars to help you stay well fed during the final fight. But you also need some watches to make some bombs too. But don't worry about the manifest. We're not going for the, what is it, get closure trophy. We're not trying to find all the passengers. That's something separate. But again, knock open all these. Found a candy bar there, some cloth, all the stuff that we'll need We're not worried about the toy. I just get loot hungry. I just get loot hungry, and I like grabbing everything. But after that, look for the fire. Go past that. Keep going. Yes, keep going. There we go. Look for the fencing. A lot of the items that you need and a lot of the pathways you need are kind of blocked off like that. But as long as you kind of know where you're going, it's not too hard. And again, there's no enemies to worry about. That's why playing this on peaceful is so good. The good thing about playing it on creative, if you play it on creative mode, you actually won't take any damage, so you don't have to worry about food at all. And it'll probably make the final boss battle a lot easier. I don't think the final boss can damage you on creative. They might be able to, I'm not sure. Because even on peaceful mode, where there's no enemies, the boss still spawns. So, but come down this rope here, keep going down and down and down, and this will lead you eventually to the rebreather. But again, this is why peaceful is so good. You don't have to worry about any monsters. You can just run through these caves. You're looking for what you need. Don't have to worry about running away and then getting lost like I have so many times. But once you're down to the rope, you'll find the rebreather on the left. We actually missed this the first time we played. But you just go through the water there. Keep going straight through the water. Come out through Geese Lake right here. I skipped a little bit of portion there of getting out. There's just... you go under the water, keep swimming, and it's a pretty straightforward path to leave. You don't really gotta be guided there, but you'll come out through the appropriately named Geese Lake. We're actually listening to the Geese Lake soundtrack right now, or the sound from it. But after that, again, look up and you'll see the mountains. So go towards the mountains after leaving Geese Lake. As I mentioned, I don't know if I actually did mention this at the beginning of the video, but the plane does crash in different areas. So depending on where your plane crashes, that's why I said it's so important to look for landmarks, because you might be closer to the rebreather, whereas I was closer to the keycard. So it doesn't really matter what order you do it. It just... this is kind of the order I ended up doing it, and you know, if you got a different order, again, just pay attention to the landmarks. So after I left the Geese Lake, again, you walk towards the sinkhole to the right in the middle, follow the edge of the sinkhole, and you'll come across this area where there's two caves, twin caves, one by a little cannibal village and one right here by the white tent. Go down the one to the white tent, and this will eventually lead you to the climbing axe. You just gotta keep going down the rope. Pop that lighter. It's so dark. Hopefully y'all don't hear my neighbors cutting grass outside. But keep sliding down, slide. And there we go. Keep sliding, keep sliding. Not a whole lot to like guide here necessarily, you know what I mean? There's kind of a hard guide to make because I didn't want to just like super cut it and just be like, oh, here's me getting the climbing axe, here's me getting the rebreather. But at the same time, I didn't want to just put raw gameplay of me walking. I guess I could have, but then it's like, it's not really as much direction, right? But as you can see, come through this little water. This is what the rebreather's for. Don't really need the rebreather for this. You mostly need the rebreather to get into the sinkhole at the bottom, but still nice to have, right? And in creative, again though, this is why in creative, I believe in creative the only thing you need would be the climbing axe. Maybe not even. I guess in creative you only need the key card. I do recommend saving at that tent right there. If you fail this little parkour area, you'll need that save file, because then if you die, instead of having to reload at the plane and then coming and getting your backpack with all your stuff, you can just exit the game and restart. That's kind of like a little death cheat right there for you. But after you come out through here, I'm just doing this on peaceful because I figured a lot of people might not have the game beat. So if you want to do this on peaceful and then beat the game, and then you can play through on creative and just mess around and have fun, you know what I mean? So knock open all this stuff for some more soda. It was really hard for me to find food in this. I just got really unlucky with a lot of my drops, I think, and I ended up being like really hungry a lot. But go through this little cave to the side. This will be the climbing axe. Just keep going through here. Stick to the left when you get out here. Make sure you don't fall down into the crevice. Just keep to the left. It was actually this trophy was really difficult to get for me because as I mentioned at the beginning, the first time I played this, I actually ate a cannibal. That's why I mentioned do not eat cannibals. Cannibals count. I thought since the trophy specifically mentions animals, no killing or eating animals, that you'd be allowed to eat cannibals, because the fact that if you defend yourself and you kill and attack cannibals, it doesn't void the trophy. If you attack like a rabbit, it voids the trophy. And if you kill, or if you eat a rabbit, it voids the trophy. So I didn't think that, like, I thought, 2 plus 2, you were able to eat cannibals. And I was so hungry trying to rush through this the first attempt that I ended up eating a cannibal because I was worried I was going to die. Second time I tried to get this trophy, a friend of mine, they were trying to help me do it, and they killed a turtle on my world, and it counted against me. But there you go. There's the climbing axe. Just come back out the way you did. Make sure you're so careful of that jump where the lady's hanging upside down. I actually fell there once. Now, this is the tricky part. Make sure you have a lot of meds when you do this, and you want to kind of skirt your way down. Slide. Look for the little ledges right here, as you can see I am. Look for the ledges. And eventually you'll hit a point, like anytime you take damage, just pop some meds. Don't be stingy, you'll get more meds in the facility. I know I actually died trying to make my way down here a few times because I didn't want to pop meds. But try to aim for these rocks to the left here. After you make it down a little bit, you'll start to slide. Sliding's actually good in this game because I think for some reason if you're sliding, it considers it as like movement and you don't take damage. I don't get it. There's been a few times where like I've slid all the way down and survived. It's like you don't take fall damage if you're actively sliding. It's weird. You only take fall damage if you're like falling, but if you're sliding down, it kind of counts. But anyway, make your way down. Here's the crashed helicopter. If you want the machete, it'll be there somewhere. I think I grabbed it, or I just ignored it. No, I grabbed it. All right, yeah. There's where you get the machete. In terms of how to beat the final boss, it's tricky. We'll get to that later. Sorry about that. In terms of how to beat the final boss, we'll get to that in a moment. But the machete can be a pretty good tool. But now that you're here, make sure you refill your canister on peaceful. On creative, you don't gotta worry about it. On peaceful, make sure you have a full canister because this is a pretty long path right here. Especially if this is at nighttime, like it was for me, it can be kind of hard. It can be kind of hard to see where the hole is. So that's what she said. But when you go into the little pool in the middle of the sinkhole, you'll just look around for like the prompt to hit it, and then follow that path down through the underwater tunnel through to this part. Save the game right here in case you want to reload and like do the other ending, because if you do the destroy ending or the escape ending, I suppose, then that's game. But if you want to play more after you do this, then go ahead and reload that save. But save there, and now you come up through here, and this is where we use the key card to open the facility. Grab the painting, because why not? Support young artists. Don't want another world war happening. But open the thing here. On multiplayer, this caused the game to lag so bad. But on single player, it's not as bad. It's not as bad. You can still see a little bit of lagging, but it's a lot more tolerable, I suppose. There we go. So now, again, another cut here because the facility is very, very straightforward. You just kind of like go straight, climb a couple ladders, crawl through a couple vents. You'll come to the cafeteria, and this is where we were saving all of our money to wait for. This is what we were saving all of our money for. Now get all the candy bars, treat yourself, king. Get some coffee to get your stamina and your energy back, and then go through the vents here. There's also some used food on the table if you're into that. Here's the meds I was talking about. If for whatever reason you don't have any meds and you need some, you can refill in the nursery. And now for the story, the big plot reveal, there's little Timmy. And here's a little bonus, by the way. After you deal with Timmy, putting him back in like the hospital bed, come through this room right before the final boss. There's this little meeting room, this little lunchroom, I suppose. If you have Molotovs, you can throw a Molotov in here and you'll get a trophy for Make It Rain. Is that what it says? Make It Rain? Make It Rain. It's for setting off the sprinklers. So there you go. There's a little bonus trophy for you. And then come into this room again. So many more meds. You got bottles too, some cloth I believe, a lot of like Molotov stuff, a lot of throwables. And now when you come through here, you can rest in that bed if you want. That's where you wake up if you die from the boss, which I probably died so many times. When I was editing this video, there's like 2 hours of recording I had to remove of just me dying over and over again. But the good thing about the game though is, like I said, when you die to the boss, you will wake back up on that bed, and it doesn't seem like he regenerates. So go ahead and make whatever you can make some Molotovs. Make a fire stick seem to do pretty well against her. I don't know why. It's just, if you just have an upgraded stick and some extra cloth, then you can just keep lighting your stick on fire and hitting her with it. And when you hit her with a fire stick, she catches on fire, and then she'll like back away and kind of screech. So that seemed to kind of help me out a lot on multiplayer. That actually helped out a lot too on multiplayer, because then if someone goes down, you can use a fire stick to get her away to revive them. But otherwise, she doesn't really regenerate any health, so you can kind of just keep running in there and dying over and over and over again. I think, yeah, this is me going to her the first time, and then bam, look, see that cut? Look to the bottom right corner. I have no health. I got no hunger. I'm in a terrible state, because what sucks is, since I didn't have any food left, I went through all my Hershey bars, I went through all my coins, I couldn't buy any more chocolate. I got to a point where like I couldn't regenerate any health, and I was stuck with like one hit. So I would literally run in there, run in there, hit her once, and then she would kill me. But eventually I got it. You'll have to be very patient for that, or just be a better gamer than I am. But after you pick up Megan, after brutally killing her, you get the keycard off of her to get to the final room. You'll have another little tunnel here to go through to get to like a second part of the facility. It's kind of weird, because it's like you come through this facility hallway, and then there's this cave-in, and then I guess the cave-in here is like a tunnel that leads to another facility, I guess. Or I don't know if they were still like excavating this. But here's another bonus trophy actually. The lawyer in the water cooler. I got this before, so you won't see the trophy pop, but it's called Gross. Fun fact. So there's another bonus trophy for you if you were curious about that one. It's the final room right before the elevator. If you know where the elevator is, you're too far. It's the final room in that hallway when you come up that facility. But get to the elevator, go up to the mountains, and we're getting so close to the end now. So close, so close. Just wait for the elevator to load, walk out into that brisk white light, and then we're now in a scene straight out of Alien, straight out of Prometheus. There's the generator, and you want to pick the escape ending, because that's the only way to beat the game. Make sure you don't hit the emergency shutoff. The emergency shutoff does not count as beating the game. You have to escape to beat the game. So activate this, save little Timmy, and then the trophy will pop for different people at different times. But for me, it popped right between the 1 year later and the 18 years later when it comes up with the forest splash screen. So keep that in mind. When I was playing this with my girlfriend though, she didn't get it until about halfway through the actual 18 years later, like post-credit kind of epilogue scene. So keep that in mind. But there you go. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more. See you all next time. Thank you for watching.